The radio channel is on the Expansion Network. I'm here with the founder of the Mindfulness Expo, Michelle Zarrin. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
She's also a meditation teacher and a spiritual guide who, now you do a lot of that online, is that right? You do online workshops?
Yes, everything I do is online.
Okay, and people can find you at michellezarrin.com?
Yes, exactly, my website.
Zarrin.com. Okay, now you ran a Mindfulness Expo. You're a mindfulness expert, I would think, after that. Well, okay, so what did you learn when you ran a Mindfulness Expo? What did you learn about mindfulness that we could all benefit from?
Mindfulness is such an integral part of our life that if we don't follow our life with mindfulness, if there's no intention and understanding behind what we do, then we allow life to take over, we allow our thoughts to take over instead of us being the creators of our life. So the more skills and understanding that people have about mindfulness, all of us, it helps us with the co-creation of the kind of life that we want.
I heard recently that when, as far as starting with intention, why that's so important, especially if you're empathic, you really feel, you're very sensitive to other people.
Yeah.
And if you go out the door without an intention that you're going to love everybody or everyone you're going to see is going to be just an amazing person, an aspect of God or whatever you want to, basically then if you don't have that, you're just going to absorb what everyone else is throwing at you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The filter comes with that. When we walk on this path and we start to take in so many different emotions, not only our own, but everybody else's around us.
Yeah.
One of the most important aspects in order to be able to continue on the path and keep our raised vibrations in the work that we've done instead of allowing it to drip away from us is to understand exactly what you're talking about and have that filter mechanism within ourselves and to love and have compassion and understand, but not make all the problems our own, because then we also give our power away if we make everybody's problems our own.
Right. So it just takes a little thing, right? Probably you could give us a tip of what you say maybe to yourself when you leave the house or when before your feet hit the floor maybe, what intention you set so that whoever you encounter in your life, you don't take on whatever they got going on. You're standing in your power with your intention. Can you give an example of what you like to do?
What I do is I actually meditate to do that. For me, meditation is a plugging into my energy field, to my source. It's every morning I take time to plug into myself, and therefore I know what is best for myself, and therefore that empowerment that we were talking about, I tap into my empowerment. So therefore the people I'm talking to, the family members, the friends, the clients, whoever it may be, I'm able to give from that part of myself that I've already connected to in the morning.
Sure.
So for me, it's the biggest intention that I can set for myself is to meditate and tap into myself that way.
So let's say you're at your job, it's 10:30, you meditated or you didn't in the morning, and now you're there and you realize you're getting upset, things are getting to you, maybe people are getting to you, sort of forgot your intention. What do you advise people do at 10:30 in the morning in their cubicle?
Recognize that is happening and take a deep breath and start over again.
Start over. Reset.
The beautiful thing is that we're always given, if we have the awareness to stop and pause and just take that breath, we have a chance to reset and redo and restart any moment of the day that we want to. So that pause and that breath is the distance between what just happened or the course of events that just happened and starting again.
And what do you recommend people tell themselves in those moments to do that reset? What's an example of something they might say?
I choose differently.
I choose differently.
Yeah, I choose differently. I choose to go forward differently, and that right there will do it.
Yeah, because what happens is, like, let's say you get just caught up in something and you just get stressed and tense. I think also maybe it's good to realize you're not a part of that. You just step outside of that and observe it and say, oh, look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Look, I got upset. Okay, now let me start to breathe and choose differently.
But we also, by using that word, we also realize that it's a choice.
Yes.
We can choose to continue to feel stressed out and to feel overwhelmed, or we can realize, okay, I don't have to go on that path.
Right.
And I do have a choice of taking a step back and just reorganizing my thoughts, my emotions, and starting over again. You know, we're constantly making choices throughout the day. Sometimes we don't realize it, but when we consciously make choices, that's when we again go back to the co-creating of our life the way that we want to.
Yes. Isn't it true? A lot of people don't know that they're choosing. They just say, no, I didn't choose to feel that way. You don't know what she said to me.
Yeah.
Anyone would feel this way I'm feeling now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a victim,
Yeah.
right? That's where they go, right? And they don't know that they can, in that moment, later they might realize, okay, that happened, I'm not upset anymore.
Yeah.
But if they can realize it quicker, and you recommend, people can do a little meditation midday too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, just even becoming aware of the breath going in and out, that's a meditation right there.
Ah.
That awareness of the inflow and outflow, that is a meditation right there. Meditation is the awareness without the thoughts attached to it. So anytime we do that, that's a meditation.
See, that's very freeing because a lot of people think, yeah, I know I should, but it's a little, I don't remember how to do it. But just acknowledging the breath, being with the breath, that's a meditation.
Yes. And even if you're sitting with your eyes closed and you're sitting on the ground on your meditation pillow and you know you have that intention of meditating for 20 minutes, but your thoughts are racing for most of the 20 minutes, but you have those few seconds of no thought where you're actually connected to the breath, those few seconds are your meditation.
Okay, so the few seconds of no thought.
Yeah.
Why don't you explain that, or can that be explained with words that come from thoughts? How can people get there? And what is the benefit of getting there?
When it's part of the path of meditation is that all we have to do is we align with those few seconds of no thought. First of all, that becomes the training for the mind mastery is aligning with those few seconds. But what happens is organically, we develop a connection to the formless part of ourself. The formless part of ourself, which is what I call the internal world, which is our intuition, our purpose, our compassion, our peace, our love. It's everything that cannot be seen, but can be deeply felt. And it is the mind that gets in the way of all of us. It's the thoughts that get in the way. So when you have those few seconds of serenity, of no thought, you organically connect to that part of yourself, which is the formless.
But isn't the mind part of our formless part?
The mind creates thoughts. You know, the mind serves its purpose.
Yeah.
But I personally consider the energy field of the heart to be the formless.
Right.
I consider the energy field of the heart to be the being aspect, and the mind to be the doing aspect. You got to do this. You got to do that. Your mind is telling you what to do.
Right.
But just sitting with that awareness and just sitting with that presence and consciousness is tapping into the heart energy. So for me, it's the heart that is the formless.
What would you say to people who are like, I have things to do, I have plans, I have goals. Don't tell me to slow down on all that and get into my heart, because maybe that's going to mess up my goals.
I know a lot of people they feel that if they walk on this path or if they meditate, they lose their edge. And they don't want to lose their edge. But the thing is, it makes you so much more efficient. When our thoughts are racing and our mind is racing, if you've ever had, you know, a panic attack or an anxiety attack, and that level of energy that is taken with the racing mind, if we learn to tame that and if we learn to calm that, it opens up space, not only for clarity and solutions to come, but it creates space for flow in our day, so we are a lot more efficient in our day. It's this very subtle power that we start to embody.
It's a subtle power. It doesn't feel like you have an edge, but actually, when someone says, "I don't want to lose my edge," actually, you might tell them, "You don't." Actually, it's the illusion of edge.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's. I feel that meditation is a tool, but a tool towards empowerment. And it's different than power. Power is, you know, I got to do this and this and this.
Yeah.
Empowerment has this very vast energy field with it, and you get to do so much more. You got to become so much more impactful. Whether you're an attorney, you in the courtroom, or you are a writer, and the words that come out of you. Empowerment takes you so much further and takes you so much deeper with your audience, whoever your audience may be, whether it's a team at work or the courtroom. So it's a skill. It's a beautiful tool and skill that we give ourselves.
In fact, that's probably where people, I mean, you could have power over people and sort of bully them into following you, or empower everyone, and then they're helping you lead, perhaps.
Yeah.
And that's a better scenario. It's heart-centered.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say, is that when we become empowered, we're leading from the heart, and therefore we're connecting to the heart, which goes so much deeper and farther and truly connects us to whoever our audience may be. So it's, again, a very subtle but beautiful part of our existence.
And I think it becomes less and less subtle, more and more prevalent the more you meditate. The more it's very obvious and you can see it and work with it, right?
You just become it through time, you know? Instead of having to work at it, you become it. Which is what meditation is, right? It's a state of being.
Yes.
You become, you be. And so you become this empowered person versus having to train yourself to get there.
And that's the interesting thing is, you start to just become that. And I know with yoga that happened with me, you start to become those things.
Yeah.
So people can learn these things from you at your website at michellezarrin.com.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here and sharing this. I'm sure this was a great blast of information for people, for those subtler things.
Thank you.
This was great. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.